they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us names. I can feel the sunlight shining in.
Well, good morning and welcome to episode 845 of the Lots Project Morning Show, where the coffee's strong, the opinions are stronger, and everything is always filter-free. I'm Brian, your host, and today it's July 7th, 2025. This morning I'm enjoying a fresh cup of FTO Blonde Espresso from FoodForestFarms.com because life's too short for shady coffee. At Food Forest Farms, your beans are roasted by real human hands using a clean Airstream roaster. More than just a customer, your family. Get 10% off with code LOTS10, LOTS10, and the shipping is always free. While you're there, check out the C4 Club for even more awesome perks. Today, we've got another packed show because I've been off for a week, or I guess 2 weeks now. I'll recap the vacation my beautiful bride and I took with our dogs and share my thoughts on a new documentary, I guess, kind of new documentary over on Amazon called Spy High, and give an update on some cabin progress and any other odds and ends from the past couple of weeks. So grab your coffee, smash the like button, and let's get started. Good morning. Good morning. Hopefully you've had a couple of good days and I guess a couple of good weeks since I was last recording. Good vacation. Happy Independence Day, everybody. By the way, Independence Day, our freedom here in America. There's a lot to be talked about there. I saw some interesting commentary on the state of the freedom in the United States. And then I saw that Orange Man there in the White House is going to be celebrating the 250th birthday of America next year with a UFC fight on the lawn of the White House, and that's can only make me think about Idiocracy and the scene after they save the crops and everything's going good and they're having the big party on the front of the White House lawn. It's coming, guys. It's coming. It's going to be there. I think we're going to hit Idiocracy mode way quicker than Mike Judge predicted. But this guy seems to be able to predict the future. I don't know if he's a time traveler or what himself, but maybe he found the time machine and it actually worked. Let's see what's going on. Prime Days this week. Prime Days. We'll talk about that first up. Prime Day is this week. If you want to help support our projects, the things we have going on here, everything we do, you can go to the website before you shop for Prime Days. Lots of Prime Day deals out there. I've been trying to dig into that while on vacation a bit, but I think Prime Days runs tomorrow, and now they're doing 3 days here in July. So the 4 days, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, I believe. If you are going to be buying anything during Prime Days, if you could go to thelotsproject.com, the Lots, LOTS project.com, and right there on the homepage, there's a banner that says, if you're shopping on Amazon today, please click here. And when you click on that, if you're on your phone, it should pop open the app, and that gets you in our affiliate tracking, so we get credit for anything you buy in that shopping trip. If you're on desktop, it should open Amazon.com and lets you purchase directly right there. So if you're shopping those deals and you don't get charged anything extra and you just want to give us a little kickback on your purchases, head on over to the website before you do your shopping and click on the link. I greatly appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. And not just for Prime Days, that's anything. Anytime you want to go shopping on Amazon, just head on over there and click the link. I know some people have put the website link as a shortcut button on their phone screen instead of hitting the Amazon app. They just hit that, and it's an extra one click basically. So not that hard. Do the free things to support the people that you enjoy listening to and talking to. Hunter, good morning. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate you over there on Twitch, my one and only Twitch consistent viewer. So that's Amazon. That's Prime this week. Let me see on the notes here. Was anything else before I got started? I don't think so. How you been, Hunter? How's the weather down in Texas? Other than rainy for a quick minute there. All right, vacation. 4th of July vacation. Actually, we were back on the 3rd, but made a quick trip to New York to spend some time with family. Hunter ended up with a total of 1/8 of an inch of rain, and it's humid. Yeah, it's been humid here. It's been crazy humid the last month or so. And he says his GPS around the area is wonky though for about 2 weeks. Were there solar flares or something going on? Our GPS wasn't too crazy, but I had some electronics issues and connectivity, Wi-Fi, and things like that. But nothing to dig into an issue, just a little off. So Corey and I ended up taking a trip up to New York to spend some time with family, my parents. Good morning, Mike's Homestead. Thanks for popping in. My parents rented a lake house on a lake about 2 hours from where I grew up, where they currently live, and close enough of a drive for my sister to come up with her twins and her husband, and also down the road a bit. I mean, basically, I think 3 or 4 miles away from them, my cousin, my adult cousin. I mean, we're all adults now, but retirement age cousin, and he has a house that he owns down the road from where they rent their house on this lake, and then my aunt and uncle from down in Pittsburgh came up, and cousin and second cousin, I guess first cousin once removed, and her fiance. We're all just kind of in the area, and they were going to be around. And my dad turns 80 this fall, and so my mom decided that since the whole family was going to be getting together, that we'd have a little surprise get together for him for his 80th birthday a little early. Obviously, a big surprise since it's about 3 months early. But anyway, we decided to take the trip up and see them. It had been a few years since they had come out to Minnesota, and since we've been traveling, and it's been tough to get back to New York just from a bunch of reasons. One, having the homestead and leaving Corey. Both of us, if both of us went, it would have been a mess with animals and everything like that. When you become a homesteader, you kind of tie yourself to home. If one of us had gone, if I had gone, it would have been way too much to ask for her to work full time and then take care of the farm. So it was just tough to go. And they're to a point where they don't travel a whole lot, so we just haven't seen each other in a while. So for this, we took the time. We figured out how to do it with the dogs. We don't board our dogs because we don't give them some of the shots that they need for boarding, since we don't do it very often, and we just don't need to inject our animals with stuff that they don't need. So we were going to have to bring the dogs with us. It's a lot more involved than just let's drive up to New York for a few days. We were having trouble with the truck. Still not super confident in it, but it definitely is running better than it had been. But we decided that we didn't want to take the truck, so we're going to need to rent a vehicle. Also going to need to rent a vehicle that we could take our boys with us. And there are no pets allowed in the house my parents were renting, and it would have been tough with them in the same house with everybody also. So we were going to have to pick up a separate place to stay while we were there. So we had to find an Airbnb close that was reasonably priced the week of July 4th and allowed pets. So it was a mission. It was expensive for sure, but we found everything we needed. We were able to make the trip. We rented a Chrysler Pacifica. It was a nice vehicle. I enjoyed driving it. It did have all the bells and whistles that come with new vehicles, but we were able to figure out how to how to get all the shit turned off we didn't want, basically. I don't think we had too much trouble on the trip with any lane assists or adaptive cruise like I did with my last rental car that I just took off when I got it and didn't have time to sit and figure the things out. We rented the car a day early and returned it a day after we got back. So on the front end, we had a day to pack, figure out the dog situation, figure out how we were going to do everything. And when we got back, we had a full day to clean the rental car with the dog hair. And if you're friends with my wife on Facebook, you saw a video of how much hair from 2 13-hour drives end up in a rental car. We thought we got it really good, and I thought we did. We were satisfied, or we were just done basically cleaning it after a few hours. And still got nailed with a $75 cleaning fee. And I'm not sure if that might be a standard cleaning fee for Enterprise when you return any car, whether it's dirty or not. I don't know. I don't recall whether that was a standard fee or not, or if they just zapped us because there was some dog hair that we couldn't get, or they found, or there was some under the seat that we didn't get to, or I don't know if they inspected it, how it went. Regardless, when we went to drop it off, they were just like, "Oh yeah, we'll let you know if there's any problems." They didn't even go out and look at it, so I was a little peeved about that. But anyway, they anytime I dropped it off at an airport, that would be the same thing. You just drop your keys in the drop box, so it is what it is, I guess. I think we got it off easy. It could have been a lot more on the cleaning fee. But the dogs did really well in the vehicle. They rode. We used the Stow and Go seats, and they had the back, and then we had the back seat kind of up as a barrier so we could have our stuff in the way back. And Corey took some snails. We weren't sure what we were going to do with the snails. Her snail tank here, it was going to be quite warm while we were gone, and I didn't want to come back to them being dead. She was kind of, she said she didn't really care, what happened. And I was ready to take the whole tank, the whole 10-gallon aquarium. She said she didn't want to do that. And when we got the van and started packing, it was clear that we probably shouldn't. So we took her favorite 6 or 7 out of the tank. I think she's up to like 30, last check. And so she picked out her favorite 6 or 7 and took them in a small portable like reptile cage that we have that she actually uses when we clean out the aquarium. She puts all the snails in the small tank, cleans out the tank, and then puts them all back. We just left 6 or 7 of them in that small tank and took it with us just in case, with the heat in the camper, with the air not running and nothing going on, and being closed up for 4 days. Yeah, I think it was 4 days we were gone. If they had died, I wanted her to have some to start again right away. To have, she really enjoys watching them and keeping track of them during her workday. It's kind of an involved in nature. She's got her bird feeders in her snail tank, and it keeps her level when she's working. So I didn't want us to come back, and then the mess and the smell would have been horrible if they were all dead when we got back. So they did survive. The ones we did leave here survived. The ones that we traveled with survived. So that's good. I think they were really actually pretty happy when we got back. It was dark in here, obviously, but they were all out and moving about, and several of them were out, I should say. So they weren't bothered at all. So that was good to know. I still think I would take some safety ones if we were going to leave in the summer again. I don't know, just so she doesn't have to start completely over. And we're not finding a whole lot of them on the side of the road right now. So we had the dogs with us. We had our snails with us. So we were traveling circus there. Mike Somstead said just got back from Alaska. Oh, how was Alaska? I wanted to go to Alaska in the past, but I don't really care to fly, and I don't know if I want to drive through Canada. But said it was great. Did you go on a cruise, or did you just go up and stay, or were you hunting or fishing? Anything fun? Um, so the trip was good. It was about 13 or 14 hours each way. 775 miles basically from our door to their door. We got up early, we left, and we just made it, drove straight through. The dogs did great on the road. They always have. They're good travelers. It was we traveled with the RV and stuff, but that was quite a long trip. But they did well. Vehicle got great gas mileage. I think it ended up, even with driving back and forth between our Airbnb and my parents, I think we ended up at 28 highway and local combined. So we were happy about that. It was way better than the truck. We didn't have to worry about it breaking down like the truck. I would have been on edge the whole way, waiting for something to happen. So it was good. It was good. Airbnb was fantastic. Perfect for what we needed. It was just a small, it was not on the water, but it was a small, like 750 square foot single story house with 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. We could shut the doors to the bedrooms, had hardwood floors and a couch and some nice, it had a nice kitchen table and everything. But the dogs were comfortable there. They had places to sleep on the hardwood floor, on the carpet, on the couch, where depending on how it was temperature wise in there, or if we were there or not, they did fine. They didn't seem to destroy anything. They seemed pretty chill when we would leave and come back. So I think they were pretty comfortable there. And they were happy. We were able to clean before we left. And the dog hair wasn't an issue, I don't think. So they had a vacuum and all the supplies right there for us to make sure everything was good before we left. So that was good. I was happy about the Airbnb. My parents' place was really nice. They had a two-story half of a house. It's like a duplex, I think. Right on the water, right on the lake. And so there was an apartment upstairs and a balcony upstairs. My sister and her kids and her husband stayed up there. She's got 8-year-old twins, which was fun to see them. It had been, like I said, probably 5 years since we saw them. So they've grown up and changed quite a bit since the last time we saw them. Got to spend some time doing arts and crafts and experiments with them. Made bouncy balls. I think Corey posted all of this on her Facebook and a little bit in the Telegram group, but we made bouncy balls. My sister had these kits. I think one of them was actually something we bought them for Christmas, and then some other things. She signed up for some subscription where the kids get, there's a boy and a girl, and the girl gets arts and crafts boxes every month, and the boy gets a science experiments, I think. But we made these bouncy balls. Mine were the best, of course. I made the most, and people were commenting that maybe I was a little overachieving. I was just using up the remainder of the supplies so it didn't get thrown away. I was just sitting outside enjoying the weather, and I just kept making these things, and they turned out decent. I don't know where I put it. They're in my backpack, I think. But I brought 2 of them home that I was impressed with, that I made myself. But it was a really cool kit. And then the next day, I with my nephew, I did a bunch of rocket experiments. We made some planets, and then did a little experiment with some. It literally said foaming denture cleaner tablets were in the experiment, and you used a little film canister, fill it with water, and then put a different amount of tablets in there, and saw how far it blasted off when the cap blew off. And then we also built a little launch pad, and they had one of the air pump rockets that took off. So that was fun, building that stuff with the kids and spending some time with them. And we do a lot of FaceTime on holidays and birthdays and things like that. But it's good to see them in person and get together. my sister and her husband and Corey and I also went out to dinner one night. That was a good time. We went to a distillery, a local brewery and distillery there that was recommended to my sister. And it was good. It was good. The food was good. I didn't have any of the beer, but I was sober driver. Corey seemed to enjoy the beer. So did my sister and her husband. And then there was live music there. Happened to be live music that night that we were there. So that was good. Band was decent, and just a good time spending time with folks that didn't get to see very much. One thing we did do, and it brought up a little controversy after the fact, but Corey and I and the kids and my mom went and played mini golf, putt. I don't know what you want to call it. I think people call it different things in different areas of the world or different areas of the country. I don't know. Do they have putt all over the world? But anyway, we played putt, did well. It had been a while since I had golfed, so I was a little nervous, but I did have one hole in one, and had the lowest score for the round, so I was happy about that. Beating 8-year-olds and my wife and my mom was the highlight of my day, I guess. But anyway, when we got back, I was looking at the scorecard, and they had rules, and they had safety rules. They had safety rules on the back of the thing. I don't know. I think I might have thrown it in I had it here. I think I might have tossed it in the trash. But one of the rules that we had a little controversy with was the rule of how you play as a group. And I don't know if this is from course to course or just a general all around rule for putt, but it said that if you have a group of people, and I've never played putt this way, if you have a group of people, so we had 5 people, each person, Mike's Homestead says always one at a time. We never did that. We always played as a group. So the rules say one person starts and completes the hole, and then the next person goes. Being someone that's played golf since I was like actual golf, since I was, 4 years old, always played like golf rules since it's mini golf, where everybody takes a turn hitting, and then the person farthest away goes, and then so forth and so on until everyone finishes. No one at our place had ever heard of the one person at a time thing. So I don't know if that is a standard across the board. Bless you, Corey. Standard across the board rule that nobody ever follows. But even the people that were around us, because we let some groups go, we had a couple 8-year-olds, so it was we were a little slower. We had a couple of twosomes come up behind us, and we would let them go, and they weren't playing that way either. They were both hitting and going along, and when I read that on the rule book, I was like, huh, interesting. Another observation from the trip: no one fucking waves in New York. No one. We joked about when we got to the South and we were in Texas and Tennessee that everybody on the road waves. When anything under 55 miles an hour, you got 40 mile an hour zone. Everybody waves as you pass by. People are friendly. People are walking, wave to you when you drive by. We got to New York, and nobody fucking waves. Just a miserable bunch of people, I guess. We were in a little cove, a dead end community with rentals, rentals on the lake. And Corey and I would be driving in, and there'd be people walking. And this just wasn't an isolated event. There were several times we passed like a couple or a single person or anybody walking down the road, and we just, by habit from being here in Tennessee, just waved. No one ever waved back. No one ever waved back. I don't know. I prefer the road waves for sure. No one in any cars waved. We were constantly, just given the standard little wave as you do here in the South, which is much preferable to me. So I'm liking that. One up for Tennessee and South and the South on the road waving. Just feels a little bit more friendly. People just, I don't know. People, I mean, I knew that from when I had been back before and growing up there and moving away from there. Just people are ornery, I guess, and don't like to interact. Got to spend some time with my dad. Got to orange pill my dad, I guess would be one way to put it. Dad asked what Bitcoin was. He listens to the show. He sees the things I do and promote, and took the opportunity to ask me to explain to him Bitcoin from zero knowledge, has no idea what it is, and asked me to explain it to him. And I think it went well. I was kind of caught off guard by it. I wasn't really prepared to do it, but when you talk about it and you look at it and you read about it, and as much as I do, it kind of is just there. It is a little. It was difficult to get back to zero knowledge. I come from a place. If you're listening to this show. Or most of the places that I post and target customers and things for the products I promote, you have a basic understanding, I guess, and maybe that is a bad assumption. Maybe I shouldn't be assuming that, but to roll back and go from zero was it was good exercise in my knowledge base, I guess. And I think he understood. I think he understood at the end. We'll see. He knows where to find me if he's got more questions. But it was good little talk. Used several examples and kind of walked through it. So I think the light bulb clicked. He'd been seeing it on TV and different things. It was just curious about how it works and what it is and the ins and the outs and all sorts of stuff. So it was a good chat. But overall, it was a good trip. Weather was okay. It was high 80s and breezy and not quite as humid as Tennessee. Tennessee has been ridiculously humid the last few, like right before we left. It was pretty bad. It seemed like worse than normal and just rain all the time. So I don't think that helps any. But it's not as bad when we got back with on the humidity side. So I think there was a little pop there for a couple of weeks where it was a little more intense. So it doesn't seem to be as bad since we got back on Thursday. So 4th of July weekend, we just kind of hung out and recouped from the trip. I think I might have got a little something along the road. I didn't feel the best, and it might have been just the stress of traveling and the lack of sleep. I didn't sleep. They didn't have the best bed in the Airbnb. That is one thing that it was lacking. The pillows and the bed in the Airbnb were not the best, and I didn't bring my pillow, unfortunately, which is a huge mistake. I always bring my own pillow. I forgot it for some reason this time, maybe because I traveled with my bed and bedroom and everything for so long. I didn't even think about traveling without it. So I didn't sleep really well. So could have been lack of sleep, could have been something I picked up along the way, but didn't feel the greatest the last few days. So kind of hung out, got back into everything and back into the swing of things this week. So that's basically the trip in a nutshell. Oh, I guess I wanted to mention Ohio. Got to spend a lot of time in Ohio on the trip, basically corner to corner from Cincinnati up to the northeast corner. We drove diagonal across the state, through the center, through Columbus. And one thing that we noticed along the road in Ohio was that there were these signs. And I think I remembered the phrasing correctly. I'm not quite sure, but pretty sure it said contact patrol about drug activity or impaired driving by calling star 677 or pound 677 or whatever the shortcut number was for the police. And Corey and I were discussing it, and it was like, are they asking people that are actively participating in drug activity, or are they asking people to how is someone going to know there's drug activity going on that they're reporting? Like if they're seeing somebody smoke a bowl, that might be tobacco, or it might be marijuana, or it might be crack, who the fuck knows, and it's none of your business. But are they asking for people to snitch, or are they asking people to call themselves in? What constitutes drug activity and as you're driving by on the highway? Or are they talking about like people broken down on the side of the road, like selling weed out of the back of their car? I don't know at 70 miles an hour what you're going to be able to observe that you're going to be calling in 677. But we did see something that we thought possibly should have been called in. We were cruising along in the middle of Ohio, and a pickup truck came up in our left-hand side, and we glanced over, and then sticking out of the back of the pickup truck was a freaking casket. I don't know where it came from. It looked used. It looked like it had been in the ground. It was kind of tarnished and weathered. Didn't look like it was a new one by any means. I worked in a funeral home. I unloaded them from boxes brand new, kind of got an idea what they look like. I've been to a few funerals. This one definitely looked like it was used. Just sitting in the back of his pickup truck. Didn't quite fit in the bed, so he had her propped up on the tailgate. I don't know. This fly that is we have a couple flies in here when we got back, and I turned my little ring light on for the screen, and I think every fly within a mile of this place came screaming into the camper for some reason, and has been flying around here. I actually took care of a couple of them before the show started, but they're just I don't know what happened this year, but we had an infestation of houseflies, and it's been just infuriating. They're just infuriating. We got it under control, and then we left again, and I don't know where they're coming from. We are kind of close to the dump or the transfer station here, but yeah, if you see something flying in front of the screen or me swatting at something, it might be one of the flies. But anyway, the casket truck, I don't know. He was there and then he was gone. He was driving quite fast, so I don't know if he dug that fucker up. I don't know. I don't know why you would have a used casket in the back of your truck. Not sure. But that was about the only thing that I saw that would constitute possible drug activity. So, and it wasn't close enough. So, that was a trip. It was good. I enjoyed it. Got out of town for a bit. Got to spend the time. I always enjoy a little vacation with Corey. I always enjoy any time I spend with Corey, and then to be away with the dogs and not have to worry about any of the day-to-day stuff. We were just kind of doing our own thing and enjoyed it. So probably another few years before we do it again. with the projects and things we have coming up, we're going to be back in the situation where it's really tough to leave. So it is what it is. It's what it is. Speaking of talking to my dad about Bitcoin, if you are in Bitcoin and you're watching the price right now, we got red, but we're at 108,732. Not bad. $108,732 for one Bitcoin. You're going to want to secure that as the price increases, your wallet increases, it only goes up. You can do that in the Blockstream Jade hardware wallet. I kind of explained hardware wallets and software wallets to my dad, but that was a little more advanced than we were going for that conversation. But hardware wallet basically authorizes your transactions to make it like a two-factor authentication. When you want to send Bitcoin, you're going to need that physical device near your phone or your computer to let it, quote unquote, sign the transaction and say, yes, I want to send these Bitcoins. Blockstream Jade and Jade Plus are available at 10% off with the code The Lots Project. And or you can use the link down in the video or audio description to click on that. You get a discount, I get a commission, and I appreciate that. Blockstream has also upgraded their software wallet and their mobile interface for the hardware wallet to the Blockstream app. It's not Blockstream Green anymore. It's the Blockstream app. If you already had Green, all you got to do is update that app, and a bunch of nice changes in there. I haven't dug in completely with it. I use the Jade with several wallets, or I have used the Jade with several wallets, and basically my Jade is cold storage, so I don't really use it that much, and that's kind of the point, because you can send to it without having it available. You can have your receive address, and now in the Blockstream app, they've made basically every wallet a read-only wallet. So you're able to see your balances, you're able to see your receive addresses, you're able to do everything except send Bitcoin. And for that, you'll need your physical device. So if you're thinking about securing your Bitcoin, or you're thinking about picking one up, definitely hit the link or use the discount code, save yourself some money. And by the way, Fold still has 10% back on Blockstream gift cards. So if you are a Fold user, if you're not a Fold user, I don't know if I got the Fold stuff in the video in the show notes, but you can find it on my website under cryptocurrency resources, free places to earn Bitcoin. There's all sorts of stuff. You can find Fold there. Fold basically is a prepaid debit card. They're soon to be coming out with a credit card. They had some issues with some of the banks they were using, I believe. One of the banks pulled out because they didn't want to be involved with Bitcoin or whatnot. So they're still working on that, but the debit card works great. I actually used it for a lot of the stuff on our trip. But prepaid debit card, you can also buy gift cards and get Bitcoin back in rewards. And Blockstream's gift card, when you buy that, you get 10% back. So not only do you save 10% with my gift card, with my code, if you buy the gift card on Blockstream, you get another 10% back on in Bitcoin for just purchasing it through Fold. So think about it. If you need help signing up for Fold, or you need help with Blockstream, always feel free to reach out. You can find my contact at the website, or you can head on over to the Telegram group at t.me/LotsChat. t.me/LotsChat. Got a bunch of great people over there, and always like new members. Before we left, we had an interesting week. I got an order for a kid's picnic table. We had sold one, and I had gone and picked up the material to put together another two, and then also a pretty cool bench that I'm going to be building, and also a Jenga set. So I had the material here, but the weather was kind of crappy. We were getting downpour rain storms randomly during the day. There wouldn't be anything on the weather or on the radar, no chance of rain. And it would just be so humid that literally a thunderstorm or a downpour would appear over top of us. So not having a workshop or someplace inside to work on this stuff, it was very limited, and it didn't make sense to pull everything out for the possibility that I would be rushing and running around trying to put it all away in a downpour. And we were getting down. It wasn't like it would start sprinkling and then start raining. It was like the sky would open up and it would just downpour on us. So was putting the woodworking a little on hold. I had the material in case I needed to make something. And we knew we were going on this trip, and just nowhere to store the stuff when nobody's around to keep an eye on it. And so I didn't have anything in the works, and I got an order for a table, and the lady was like, well, when can you have it done? And this was about, I think it was Sunday before, maybe Monday before we were going to leave on, Sunday. So it was like a week ahead of time. And I was like, well, I can have one done by the end of the week. I was looking at the weather, figuring out, the building of the table isn't really, really tough. Sanding takes a little extra time, but the finishing, the staining, the letting the stain dry, then staining again, and then a couple of coats of sealer, it takes some time. So I was like playing it out in my head, and I was like, okay, well, I can have it done, and gave myself a little leeway. I was like, I can have it done by Friday. I need you to pick it up on Saturday. I'm only going to be available in the afternoon. I had to go pick up the rental car in the morning. And I said, it has to be in the afternoon because I'm out of town for a while after that. And she's like, okay, I want one. And so I started making the table. It was right on track. Had everything done, and I got it stained the day I wanted to get it stained. I got both coats of stain on it. And then the day I was supposed to coat the poly, I got the first coat on, and it was setting up and drying, and everything was great. I was going to go out in the afternoon and do another coat of poly, and it absolutely just starts downpouring out of nowhere, just like it had been. I had gotten lucky all week and had avoided that. Everything was under a tent. I was like, all right, well, I go home, I go out, and I drop the tent to the ground, and it like rained so much that it bled through the canopy tent. I was like, really? So that just threw a kink in things. But anyway, got the table done eventually, and let her know. Let her know that Saturday morning. I was like, hey, I'm back. I'm here the rest of the afternoon. I need you to pick it up today. Otherwise, I don't know when you're going to get it. And so she writes back. She says, is there any way that I can pick it up tomorrow? I'm like, literally, lady, when you asked when it could be done, I told you when it had to be picked up. And no, you can't pick it up tomorrow. I need it picked up this afternoon, just like I said in the message that I just sent you. And she's, oh, well, let my husband know. He can come and get it. So he came up, he got the table. He was very happy with it. He thought his kids were going to really like it. And I was happy with it. I think it was better than the first one, not as good as it could be. It was kind of what my feelings on that was. One was I'm learning every time I'm making one. I did put a jig together on this one to put the ends together. It worked out well, and made the top a little different because I had picked up some larger clamps and was able to clamp the top together before attaching it. So I think it worked out a little better. It looked to someone, and then that's always the thing. Like the builder always has the critical eye. I look at it and I see all the imperfections, and somebody that is buying it for their kids looks at it and thinks it's fantastic. They weren't functional. Issues with it. It was just things that I saw in the back of my head that I wish I had done different or had come out better. So always improving. While we were cabin update, little cabin update, speaking of getting that going, I got a call while we were in New York, of course, when I'm 800 miles away. I got a call that the guy that is going to be building it, putting the posts and the roof structure up, gave me a call and wanted to come out and check access, because I have been very clear that access comes and goes, and to definitely I want him to come out and check what he thinks before he heads out there with all the material, and then if something needs to be done better, then we'll talk to the guy about working on the road or the driveway or whatever. With all the rains and things like that, I didn't want something to get washed out and him to just show up. So he calls, and I said, I'm not going to be back till Monday. I think he called on, I think he called on Monday. We got there on Sunday night. I think he called on Monday morning. So a week ago. And I said, you're going to have to wait. We're going to have to wait. I'm out in New York and I won't be back for a week. And I really want to meet you out there and show you what we're thinking. So I got to call him back today and get that site visit set up. From looking at the weather, I think they probably moved on to doing I think I mentioned it, that I found out where we were in line. I talked to the company we bought it from, and we were basically next in line for buildings with no concrete pour. But there were 6 concrete pour jobs ahead of us because of all the rain. They weren't able to do those, so they were stacking up and they were doing all the non-concrete jobs. And depending on the weather, we were either next or we were 7th in line. The weather seems, from what I've seen, probably has cleared up enough that they've been working on some of their concrete pour jobs. So I don't know. I don't even know where we are in line. But he wants to come out and check out the access. So I will meet him out there this week sometime, maybe today. I don't know. It's going to be interesting coordinating getting out there to meet. A, because we're about a half an hour away, and B, there's no cell phone signal for me out there. So basically, I'm going to meet him at the end of the road and wait, I guess. Wait for him to show up. Hopefully, we make an appointment, and he's punctual. Who knows? I don't know if he's just swinging by. Plans on swinging by after a job or what he wants to do, but we'll talk about that on the phone, I guess. So that's progress. Got to get out to DG. I'm sure after all the rain we've had, I was having trouble keeping up with the grass growth, and then had our weed eater head took a shit, basically wore through another one, and it was auto spooling out. So it was a little delay on getting new heads for the weed eater. So I'm guessing that's my job for the next couple of weeks is getting caught up with that between the rain and then the warm sun. I have a feeling when I get out there, it's going to be a jungle again, and we'll play catch up with that and then move on to some other stuff. I'm guessing the food forest is completely overgrown in the places that I haven't gotten cardboard down. But it is what it is. It's nice to see what's coming in. There is a catch-22 there when it got going this spring. I wanted to let the food forest come in to see what came up. And then Carrie Brown was coming out for a visit, and I kind of wanted to wait on seeing if there was anything that we wanted to keep in there before I just went whole hog and started covering things up. And I'm just frozen there. Before I started covering things up or pulling things out or weed eating them down. And I was glad we did. We marked a bunch of stuff that had come in. It does make it a little more tedious with trying to keep up with it and get the stuff out that we don't want. But all that stuff that came in that we're going to keep, like a large beautyberry bush, a bunch of wild edibles, and some flowers and things like that. They're all going to take up space and be less ground cover that we need. So it is more tedious to work around them. It's going to be more tedious getting all the cardboard down and ground layer down. If we could ever get wood chips down. But it does provide a lot more natural ground cover that'll work a lot better than the man-made, I guess, to try to do weed suppression and things like that. So it made a little bit more work, but I think in the end, in the long run, it'll be a better ecosystem down there with the natural stuff. So I'll be playing a little catch up, and it is what it is. It's just working in nature. So it's a long-term project. So do it as I got time. So excited about that. got about 10 minutes left. Corey and I watched an interesting documentary on Amazon. So we'd been seeing a bunch of commercials for it, and finally watched it one night before we left. It was called Spy High. I don't know if you've seen the advertisements for it. It was good. I kind of vaguely remember the news story that when this happened, but basically, without a huge spoiler, basically a school district gave students iPads, iMacs, whatever the Apple laptop is, for school. This is pretty common practice now. I think this was back in 2009. I think it was it was just ramping up in where all the students were getting these things. And so eventually it comes out that they have pictures and videos of students at home, like in their bedroom or at their friend's house or wherever they had the laptop. And there was a big controversy over whether this was A, legal, B, moral, and C, like, what's the deal here? So there were lawsuits, and it tells the whole story of it. It was pretty frightening. It was frightening to me. So a few things really stuck out to me was the response of the school district. But that was kind of, obviously they're going to be like, we didn't do anything wrong. But the not understanding why it was a big deal seemed to be the issue that I had. Basically, they were like, yeah, we did it. Yeah, there's no problem here. Another thing was the response of the local parents, some of them, and their reasoning why they didn't want to push this at all. And the reasoning why they were just going to be willing to accept it was scary to me. You're going to have to watch the thing to dive into it. But it was more than the story of the spying from the laptops to me. It was more about society as a whole, I think. They did bring the race card into it a little bit. I think it was a four episode docu-series, and they brought the race card in. It was out of left field. I didn't know. I was just like, wait, what? But anyway, it is what it is. And I mean, in the end, I could see where they were coming from. It wasn't blatantly just thrown in there, but when they presented it at first, I was like, wait, what? What's going on? But good series. If you got kids in school, definitely a good thing. Oh, and in Honor of Pride Month, they also brought in some of the LGBTQXYZ stuff in the last episode. Not from this particular incident, but another incident, and which it was what it was. It was relevant to the story they were telling, I guess. But decent little docu-series, especially, like I said, if you got kids and they're going to high school and they're getting school owned equipment, and maybe preparing them and letting them know what can happen. And I think a lot has happened in the legal side of this since this whole incident took place. I think this incident was the first and a catalyst for a lot of changes in legislation and laws and stuff on what schools can do, what they have to notify they're doing, and how they handle things. But it still isn't. It's really still isn't locked down yet, from what I understand. So check it out. Check out Spy High on Amazon. Just checking notes here. I think that's about it. Like I said, Prime Days are this week. If you happen to be shopping on Amazon, Prime Days are what they are. Be careful of the jacked price and on sale. If you've been looking at making a purchase on Amazon and you've been waiting for the price to go down, you should know what your price is currently. Be sure that it's a sale on Prime Day. I'm not discouraging people from using my link and buying stuff on Amazon, but definitely beware of the old furniture store. We're going to jack the price and then put it on sale. Jewelry store. Actually, my dad and I had a conversation about that. On vacation was jewelry stores with their 75% off. And if they ever charged full price, no one would ever buy anything. But for some reason, everything's always 50 to 75% off. Be careful of that. Don't end up paying more just because it says it's Prime Days. But if you are going to be shopping on Amazon, Prime Days or not, head to thelotsproject.com and click that banner. It should be on the top of the page when you, not on the very top, but on the first screen. If you're on your mobile phone, you might have to scroll just a bit and try to move it up as high on the page as I possibly could within the parameters of what I had on my web page builder. So click that link and you'll be on your way to helping us. And I appreciate that for sure. Other than that, I'm going to get wrapped up here. I got a bunch of stuff to do for a Monday after being gone for the week. And I got a bunch of stuff to do. I hope you all had a good 2 weeks. I hope you enjoyed your 4th. You had some fun with family or whoever you spent it with. You have all your fingers if you played with fireworks, and you didn't get too sunburned because it seemed like it was hot and sunny in most places that I was seeing updates, people hanging out with family. So anyway, hope you had a great couple weeks. Hope you get a bunch of stuff done, and we will catch up with you again next Monday.